Ladies and gents, welcome to Spooky Month. This week, I'm taking a bite out of a classic of the vampire genre that doesn't get near the love it deserves. Dracula's lame ass doesn't have anything on this sexy, suave 70s bloodsucker. Get ready for a bloody good time with 1973's Scream Blacula Scream. We start with the death of a voodoo queen and some groovy 70s fashion. Her son Willis lays claim to the title, but like any dick, he lacks the ability to know the right place and time for such points.
It's mine! I'm the new Papa Loa.
In the midst of his claims to the position, everyone gives him a look that accurately conveys a totally cheesy TV quote.
What you talking about, Willis?
His ass is threatened.
If I ever catch you even thinking about Lisa, anybody else here in this room, your ass is mine.
But his hair is still fabulous. A coffin lid closes on that scene, and we end up at a disgraced voodoo priest's house, which somehow rivals my place for the sheer amount of dust. He brings out a bag with some pretty big claims.
For this is power beyond all common man. I ain't afraid of no power. You will be.
Luckily, the bones come with a handy brochure, but if Willis is like most of us, they'll never get read. Willis starts to prepare the bones for either an entree or for some kind of ritual. Either way, he should really use a balanced hand with that seasoning. Honestly, this is officially the weirdest damn vampire resurrection ritual I've ever seen. And I gotta wonder, is it supposed to catch fire? What if the sprinklers go off? Does that ruin the final result? Also, I don't know what he asked of that fire, but it was apparently underwhelmed, and all he's got left to show for it is smoke damage and a charred floor. At least he has a chorus to soothe the sting of defeat, in addition to an intimate hello from Blacula himself. Mamawaldi digs in for a post-resurrection meal and gives the camera a toothy grin. Being recently turned, Willis offers a traditional vampiric greeting.
Hey, Black.
While rocking some really sharp threads. He's then subjected to a great trick that I hope is played on all new vampires.
What's going on, man? I can't see myself. You got something to do with this, man?
So let me get this straight. Willis isn't upset about being undead or having to drink blood. It's the fact that he can't see himself in a mirror.
Hey, look, man, I don't mind being a vampire and all that shit, but this really ain't him.
But he sucks it up and picks the next best option.
How do I look, man?
Before Mamawaldi takes a harsh but fair approach to the way things are gonna be.
If you ever dare to disobey, I will slice into your chest.
There's a quick recap of Mamawaldi's vampiric transformation and given name by the older but much less smooth Dracula.
You shall be Blacula.
And the introduction of Blacula's next victims. To be honest, after Lewis breaks the first rule of horror movies, I really don't feel sorry for him.
I'm going upstairs.
Alone?
After an interesting game of tag, one of the victims decides to scream extensively instead of running, and then performs an interpretive dance. Or something. Willis really digs his teeth into this, and I'd like to think it made Blacula proud. Mamawaldi treats himself to a night on the town where he displays a level of smooth that would make even Lugosi jealous. Later, he indulges in a really big meal, but coming back from the great beyond will definitely leave one famished. He goes like a bat out of hell, and this guy has the right response.
Shit.
He does a fly-by-night tour of the city, but a couple of assholes decide that they like his cape.
Sure is a sweet-looking thing.
Despite the nature of 70s fashion, I'm really not sure that it goes with their look. One of them makes a hasty move and finds out that you wouldn't like Mamawaldi when he's angry. The cops investigate the various victims, and the lieutenant offers an interesting observation to former cop Justin.
No blood in the same stupid-looking marks.
On a real quick side note, I just want to recap Mamawaldi's first night back in town. He directly converted 5 people, took in a rare African artifact exhibition at a swinging party, charms both the ladies and the gents, becomes a bat, and found a coffin that fits him. I struggled to get even a quarter of that done. Much respect to him for an incredible night's work. Elsewhere, Willis has taken up being a vampiric masseuse, and he's all about circulation.
I can feel the blood just humming through this fine body.
Everything goes well until his lady makes the mistake of insulting his teeth.
Where did you get them teeth? Take that crap out your mouth.
Later, Mamuwalde forbids his growing group to attack Lisa, a voodoo expert that might help him become human again. He dismisses them.
Your face is sickening on me. Good night.
In a tough but fair way more leaders should aspire to. Afterwards, Willis talks smack while wearing a jaunty hat.
Oh, badass Blacula come telling us to lay off of her.
That is until Blacula calls his ass out.
Who's gonna harm Lisa? I love that bitch.
The lieutenant gets sarcastic with Justin's simultaneously outrageous and practical answer to the murders.
No, kill that girl and those two punks? No, who? A vampire!
Later, as a squad of cops swarm the vampire lair, the recently turned have woken up just a little bit dead. In a secluded area of the house, Lisa attempts to help Mamuwalde remove his vampiric demon. The ritual requires the right ingredients, concentration, and not being interrupted by a fleet of cops. As has been the case through this whole movie, Justin makes a very solid point. Twice. That can't be said for this cop who learns that you shouldn't go poking around people's closets. Mamuwalde and Lisa have a moment, but Justin busts in at an inopportune time, killing the vibe and ruining the ceremony. The lieutenant brings an axe to a vamp party, but loses spectacularly. This leads to Mamuwalde losing his chance at Lisa's help, despite his pleas.
I need you.
He in turn embraces the dark,
Name is Blacula.
and Lisa sticks a pin in him, bringing an end to this smooth, seductive vampire. So Scream Blacula Scream is a 1973 Blaxploitation horror film and the sequel to 1972's Blacula. The film was produced by American International Pictures and was the acting debut of Richard Lawson, who played Willis. It was directed by Bob Kaljan, who also directed the Count Yorga movies. It had an average box office and received mixed reviews, with people acknowledging the talents of both William Marshall and Pam Grier, who shone brightly despite an average script. Scream Blacula Scream was the first in a wave of Blaxploitation-themed horror films that looked to follow the success of Blacula. Others included Abby, Blackenstein, Sugar Hill, Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, and The Beast Must Die. In 1980, the movie had the dubious honor of being awarded a Golden Turkey Award for the worst Blaxploitation film of all time. But regardless of its lackluster performance, Scream Blacula Scream gave us more of William Marshall's excellent and incredibly suave vampire. He's the obvious heart of these movies, and he plays Mamuwalde with a level of passion and dignity that should put him up there with the likes of Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee. I would have loved to have seen what else could have been done with this character, but I was happy to see his two takes on Blacula, both charming and terrifying in their own ways. Additionally, the movie offered a genuinely fun performance from Richard Lawson, and it was a stepping stone for Pam Grier to become the cinematic badass we still talk about today. Scream Blacula Scream is one of those movies to just sit back and enjoy. It does offer some social commentary that's still pretty relevant today, but it also offers some great humor, tense moments, and a really enjoyable movie for spooky month or damn near any time. The same is true of Blacula, which has a great score and was one of the top grossing movies of 1972. So what do you think? Suggestions for movies, trivial questions, comments, ratings, and some good vampire smack talk would be appreciated. Thank you so very much for watching.